So good day to each and everyone. So my report for today is about the biology of sex and poverty. The following words of the discussion may be sensitive to others, so please bear with the topic. So first, let us distinguish the difference between the biological features of a male and the biological feature of a female. You can see in the left side is the biological feature of a male, and in the left side is the biological features of a female. So we all know that if you have a penis, you have a testes, you have a epididymis, prostate gland, seminal vesicle, gallbladder, vas deferens, are a male in the biological features, while in the female, it parts comprises of the vagina, cervix, uterus, ovaries. So that is the biological features of both male and female. So that is the differences between the two. Next is so these two reproductive organ are called primary sex characteristic. So it is called primary sex characteristic because it is called primary sex characteristic because at birth it is present at birth and comprises the external and the internal genitalia. So it means so nabuhi ta dining kalibutan na nanani ang atong nanani ang kaning primary sex characteristic or the atong organ gikan sa atong pagkabata hantod na madako ta. So mao ni ang gitawag siya primary sex characteristic kay bata pa ta nanani nato. Next, in the male reproductive system is comprises of first the penis. Penis is the male reproductive organ. Next is the urethra. Urethra is a tube that carries urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. So it is the tube. Next is the testicle. Testicle or the testis are pair of egg-shaped so kanini egg-shaped glands that sit in the scrotum next to the base of the penis on the outside part of the body. So mao ni siya nabilong siya sa external genitalia na to sa mga boys. Next is the epididymis. Epididymis is a long coiled tube. So kanini it's a long coiled tube that rests on the backside of the testicle na sa luyo sa testicle. Next is the vas deferens. The vas deferens is a long muscular tube that travels from the epididymis into the pelvic cavity to just behind the bladder. Next is the prostate gland. Prostate gland is a walnut-sized structure that's located below the urinary bladder in front of the rectum. Next is the seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle are sac-like pouches that attach the vas deferens near the base of the bladder. Next is the bladder. It's a muscular sac that stores urine. So that is comprises the male reproductive system or the male biological features. So mao nang nagkuan sa mga lalaki, mga common parts sa reproductive system sa laki. Next is the male reproductive system. So mao ni mga parts nga comprise sa male reproductive system. So first is the vagina. So vagina is a canal that joins the cervix to the outside of the body. So ano siya sa comprise sa external genitalia sa babae. Next is the cervix. It's the lowest region of the uterus. Kani. Next is the endometrium. Endometrium is the innermost lining layer of the uterus. Next is the ovaries. Ovaries are small oval-shaped glands that are located on the either side of the uterus. Next is the uterus. It's a hollow, pear-shaped organ that is home to a developing fetus. So, diri mabutang ang bata if ang babae kay magmabdos na. Next is the fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes, these are narrow tubes that are attached to the upper part of the uterus and serve as a pathways for the egg or egg cells to travel from the ovaries to the uterus. Next is the fimbrium. It's a fringe of tissue around the ostium of the fallopian tube, the direction of the ovary. So that is the comprises the female biological features. Next, next is the so we so as a human we are having a secondary sex characteristic. So first nakabaw na ta sa primary sex characteristics. So karon maka atong kanon ang secondary sex characteristics. So ang secondary sex characteristic happen during puberty. So kanang stage sa puberty. So when we are in adolescent stage or mo na ang puberty, mo adran mo ko lang puberty sa adolescent stage, these are changes happen in our body. So daghan nag changes may tabo sa atong body. So from the primary sex characteristic that we have, there is an observable changes will happen. So that changes in the human body will known as the secondary sex characteristic. So ang mga nangitabo sa atong body since maabot ani nga stage sa adolescent stage. So puberty. Puberty is a period during which boys or girls undergo the process of sexual maturation. So mao na diri mahitabo nga ang ma-develop ng babae na nay mga kuan modako ng breast na kuan usab ang lawas sa mga laki kay nay Adam's apple. So dire na mahitabo sa puberty. So kaning puberty, it is also called adolescent period when a child's body begins to develop. So next. In boys, there are observable changes happen to the body. So as I am a boy. So we experience enlargement of Adam's apple. We observe the growth of our facial hair. So kanang bungot na mo, kung dagga na. Next, and increase of body hair. We also observe that the deepening of voice of male. So kanang among boys kay murag baho na, kanang lawom na kayo. So when may tabo na siya kung ang male kay nag-undergo na sa puberty. So we can also observe that the development of our muscles like broad shoulders, so among mga diri kay kabantayan mo sa mga laki kay mudagko na diri is more muscular. So pubic hair and mature genital organs. Next is circumcision or the surgical removal of foreskin. So in the male, so mao ni gitawag og kanang pagtutuli, circumcision. So that is the changes in male during puberty or adolescent period. While in female, we can observe that so sa babae sa naste may mga kanang mga changes. So ang first nga changes na makanan sa babae kay kanang ilang breast kanang it become mature in adolescent period, changes in hips, we can observe that their hips become wider or broader mo dako sa nilang kanang balakang. Next is the also kanang makuha sa sila pubic hair, and most especially kanang weak, and most especially I can say that female is in the adolescent period if they are having an onset menstruation or kanang dugon ta tagabuwan. The secondary sex characteristic happen during puberty. So because it is because of the hormone. So there are two main hormones that are responsible of the changes in the body. So in the male, the hormones that is responsible nganong na yung mga changes may tabo sa babae is kang kaning estrogen. Sa laki kay ang maka-release na og testosterone nya. Since kaning kuanan man na may mga hormones, so ang lalaki maka-produce na og sperm o procreation of sperm. Then sa babae kay maka-produce og eggs. Mao na. So the hormone estrogen is responsible in the growing of breast, growing of pubic hair, development of wide hips. So mao to ang akong kuan nga mao ni sila responsible ang kaning hormones mao ni responsible sa nga nausap ang kuan sa babae ni mature ang kuan niya na onset menstruation. So mao na ang kuan sa lalaki nasa kan hormone mo ni ang testosterone mo ning kuan ang nanami Adam's apple kanang dako among lawas kay ma-develop nya matugkan og mga facial ug bodily hair. So mao na ang kan. So in puberty mo to sa puberty ma-develop ma-procreate na ang kan sa lalaki kay nanay procreation nga sperm og ang sa babae kay producing eggs mo ni ang responsible maka-create og new nga creation kaning kan duha ning sperm ug ang egg. Next is the so because there are many changes happening during puberty, we also have changes the way we think. So kanang usab na ang atong pangkuan kanang the way we sa atong emotion that we can feel in a maka-feel tag sexual arousal. So what is a sexual arousal? Sexual arousal means the feeling of being turned on sexually. So in the male, kanang ang arousal nga ang ma-experience sa male, once you are a male, maka-experience kag arousal when kanang penile erection or kanang penile erection. And sa female, ang sexual arousal nga ma-experience sa mga female is ang kanang lubrication or wetness kanang wetness or lubrication. Then because of the hormones in our body, that's why it is happen. Kanang nanaman ang testosterone ug ang estrogen sa lawas sa babae ug sa lalaki mo nang mm, maka maka-feel og sexual arousal. Next is the orgasm. Ang orgasm can be defined in different ways using different criteria. So orgasm is likely called as kanang climax or kanang when having an intercourse between a male and a female or a couple na ay kanang orgasm nga may kanang na climax nga may tabo ba or kanang maka-feel gani ang babae ug ang laki nga is likely feeling sudden intense pleasure kanang pleasure tan magkuan ang lalaki ug ang babae mag na intercourse. So maka-feel og kuan kanang laki ug ang bae nga kanang nakahawas guro sa pila ng nakakuan na nang nakuha na ilang ilang kuan ba kanang satisfaction nila sa ilang kuan mo ni maka orgasm na sila. So sa orgasm kay makakuha na ni kuan sa lalaki kay likely to be longer. So ang lalaki yan sa babae kay can achieve multiple orgasm due to a shorter refractory period. So likely to be longer ang lalaki kay makasulti nga orgasm kay likely to be longer because sa refractory period. So ang refractory period mo ni ang kanang time nga maka-relax ang body sa tao nga naka after sa mo orgasm siya. So mo ni ang lalaki likely to be longer kay ang lalaki taas mag-refractory period after siya mag-orgasm. Tas ang lalaki if na sex intercourse kay usually dugay kanan ang lalaki dugay maka og orgasm. Then sa babae maka-achieve og multiple orgasm due to shorter alang refractory or relaxation nila kay kanang mubo ra kayo. Then mao na pwede sila maka-achieve og multiple orgasm due to a shorter refractory period. So that is all about my report about the biology of sex and puberty. Thank you.